How you doing, everybody? This is the first new and improved episode of the Gotta Be Legend podcast, taking place Monday, March 2. It is 8:08 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm sorry, 9:08 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8:08 Central for some of us. And we got a lot to talk about this week. So I first want to introduce our cast. Well, of course, my name is Shib, and you can follow me over on my Twitch channels, twitch.tv/Shibarizu. You might be watching it right now, depending on when you're tuning in. Or you can find me on Twitter under the same username. You can find all that information in the description. Of course, I got my co-host Aliens here in the chat. Aliens, say hi.
What up? What up?
And I got Protodad here in the chat. Protodad, tell me, say hello.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
It's good to hear everybody. Good to hear everybody. So we got a couple things to talk
Good
about.
to be back.
It's really good to be back. It's been a little minute since we've done a podcast, and it's really
Been a
great
hot
to.
minute, man.
It's really great to actually have more people to talk about. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to everybody tuning in. Thanks to everybody who's subscribing. Thanks to everybody
Hit
who's
that
supporting.
follow.
Yeah,
If you're
thank you guys
just
so
tuning
much.
in, if you're
Support the
just
team.
hearing about this, the description obviously is going to have all the socials that you can follow us on. And if you're watching the video, you can check us out at the top of the page. We have all the links. So we have this week's docket here on the right-hand side. And we have a couple things to talk about. We have an exclusive interview that should be coming on later tonight. We have we have to talk about the Final Fantasy VII Remake. We got to talk about Super Smash Bros. For a minute. We got to talk about Dragon Ball FighterZ. And we got to talk about Valorant. So half of everything we're going to be talking about tonight happened within the last 24 hours. And I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah,
It's
that's
crazy how things have blown up towards the beginning of the year. And it's critical that we talk about Final Fantasy VII Remake. So let's just start there. Aliens and Proto, you've both played this on your PS4.
Yes.
I want
Love
Aliens. You are the first one to tell me about it. What are your first impressions?
You already know I don't really play, role-playing games. I never really sat down and played a Final Fantasy game, how embarrassing that may sound to some people. But, to be honest with you, I'm glad that I actually had an opportunity to go ahead and download the game and play it, and be able to stream it and get some footage because, it definitely blew me away the way it's so simple, right? The game, the way they made it's so simple. Because before, when I was younger, when I would try to play Final Fantasy, it seemed very confusing because there's so many menus and so many things you need to do, and it's turn-based. So it never really caught my attention because of that, right? Because I'm like, this is just too much. Right. But now that you can go ahead and attack, and then you can also, do the abilities and the spells while you're doing all of that, it just makes it so much easier. And especially now with such a remarkable game that they've developed, right? Square Enix, when at that time, Squaresoft, when they had Final Fantasy VII, that's their biggest game, right? So if we're talking about their biggest game being remade for, the modern times, for modern players, they're going to make changes to make sure it appeals to everybody. And I'm glad that they did that because it definitely appealed to me. And I'm just glad I got an opportunity to play it. I hope, I have an opportunity to get the game when it comes out in April because, I think it has a very good shot of being Game of the Year, and, just like last year with Resident Evil 2, we're getting a remake from a game 20 years later, potentially being Game of the Year. And then we have Final Fantasy VII over 20 years later, another opportunity to be Game of the Year. So I think it's great. If you haven't tried it yet, and if you have a PlayStation 4 and you have a PSN account, go get that right now. Check the footage on our website. We have it on our website, GottaBeLegend.com. It's on the YouTube, and see what you're gonna be playing, man, because that game is fire. It's gonna be a hit, guaranteed.
Yeah. Proto. So you might be a little more familiar with the property than Aliens is. I will speak from personal experience. My interest with Final Fantasy is actually just Final Fantasy 14, and I have the original Final Fantasy 7. I know what it plays like. I know what they can obviously build on the original product.
Yeah.
But Proto, tell me, what did you think?
So I really enjoyed the demo. I finished the demo probably about 20 minutes ago. Just a little quick background. Like, I have played several Final Fantasy games. I love Final Fantasy, but Final Fantasy 9 is my favorite. Back in the day when FF7 was still really big and popular, I didn't play it because I was like, man, this game ugly.
This game ugly.
Like, this game ugly. And I liked everything about it, but I just couldn't get far. I think I finished the first disc, but I'm just like, I can't do this anymore. But I always had this really passing curiosity, and I've been following this remake ever since it got announced, and seeing everyone get really excited because I know this game means a lot to a lot of people. And I was really happy to finally get the chance to play this demo. I thought it played really smoothly, and I appreciated how cinematic it was.
Yes.
I was thinking back to that original bombing run, because if you haven't played it yet, the demo covers about the first hour or so of the game, which is the bombing run up through that first boss and the subsequent escape. And I was like, wow, everything's like really solid. Some of the voice acting a little hokey.
Yes. Sure,
But
definitely
the
very
presentation,
Square Enix.
yeah, presentation's super clean. The gameplay's super clean. And I had a really good time, and I'm really hoping I get the chance to play the full game when it comes out. It's definitely recommended if you've got a PSN account with a PS, on your PS4. Definitely check it out. It's free. It doesn't get better than free.
Doesn't get better than free.
It's a lot of
Absolutely
fun.
right.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, I love it. I thought it was great, man. I mean, like I said, I'm somebody that's never really played it, and look how I'm talking about it, right?
how
So
you're
I
talking
mean, they
about it. Yeah,
definitely they definitely did their job, So
It's got
I'm
an
telling you, man.
opportunity to penetrate a market that was previously inaccessible to them because of the fact that they can make it an action RPG, but they can still integrate the turn-based tactical mode, right, with the slowdown and but it's just called
Mhm.
tactical mode, right, and which they iterated off of in Final Fantasy 15 and now in this game. So props to them. Obviously, this thing's gonna set the world on fire.
Yes.
So speaking of Cloud, I think that there's nothing to be said other than this game needs to come out, right?
Yeah,
Like in closing,
absolutely.
April 10, game come out.
Get it.
Everybody else, I hope you're ready to wait a year for the PC release or whatever it is that they plan on doing. But if you have a PS4, I don't think you can. I don't think I saw a lot of reactions on the internet. People were saying, I was of the camp that I was gonna wait for all the games to come out and then play them all at once, but nah. That demo, I'm buying this day one. I saw that.
Yeah.
This is the kind of reactions that people are getting. So,
Yes.
with that being said, speaking of Cloud, we can talk about Cloud in a different video game. We can talk about him in Super Smash Bros. So,
Mhm.
very recently they announced a new competitive circuit named the Smash World Tour, which sounds official, but it's not because nothing's ever official with Smash Bros. This is
Absolutely not.
organized by VG Boot Camp. They're always streaming majors.
Yep. Shout outs to Gimmer.
Yeah, Gimmer is always out there streaming stuff. So they're obviously extremely proven. I don't think there's anybody with more repute in the community to really do that kind of effort. So props to them on
Mhm.
that. This is being officially organized by Smash.gg. So it's like everything's going to be on their platform, of course, which is totally fine and well. This is not in any way corporate beyond the stuff that people are already using per se, right? Everybody's already using Smash.gg. So it's cool to see something international with stops along the way, and it looks like they're still missing announcing some stops. So I'm happy to see that they're able to grow this at an international level because Smash internationally is just all over the place. Smash is all over the place.
Yeah.
But in terms of my experience, I don't think I would call myself an expert in Smash competitive. I want to give the floor to Proto. What do you think about this announcement?
I think this is actually really, really cool. So I have been playing Smash since literal launch day of Smash 64.
Damn.
I remember getting that game just to play Pikachu. I loved it. That was back in the 90s on my huge Pokemon craze.
Nice.
But seeing because I've grown up very grassroots with this competitive community. This was my game series, and the support that we've gotten from Nintendo has been very few and far between. I think a lot of majors have gotten some setups, but no actual monetary pop bonuses or anything like that, which is very unlike something like Capcom would do, whereas Capcom is providing a lot of good monetary backing to their games, really to Street Fighter. Not so much Marvel versus Capcom anymore. Yeah,
but
unfortunately. But I think this is great because the community's always come together and always tried to get a lot of these things, and it's actually got a lot of interesting implications for Ultimate going forward. Smash Bros. Ultimate has one of the biggest communities that I've ever seen for any sort of fighting game. I can go to any local here in Florida and expect to see 50 people. There are smaller ones with 16, 20 people, but I can expect to go see 50 people for one game, which is nuts. So now that it's got the circuits, now that it's going to be progressing like that with this huge $250,000 prize pot, a lot of these implications are becoming a little bit more clear. One thing that I'm looking at, I'm kind of researching a little bit more and looking into this, but is there is a handbook out there for the Smash World Tour, which includes a rule set.
Yes.
And that implies to me that we're finally going to come under a unified rule set, because unlike a lot of other fighting games, it's not super clear what Smash's optimal like stage list and rule set is going forward. Whereas this one's like, okay, where it seems to me at least, they're saying, okay, here's what we're doing. Here are the stages that we are running. Here are some rules in here that all of these events are going to follow.
Yeah.
And they did specifically say they had no input from Nintendo. However, so the little side note, this is supporting both Melee and Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Yes, both games.
So there's I don't play Melee a whole lot anymore. I follow it vaguely, but I don't play it as much anymore. But I know there was a mod that came out recently called UCF, which is the Universal Controller Fix, which I believe adjusts the amount of backdash that you can get. I'm not 100% sure on what that is, so don't quote me on that. But I know a lot of Melee players are very for that fix, because it makes, in a game where control is so important and movement is so important, having that universal controller fix is really, really important. However, anytime Nintendo is involved, they're not allowed to run it because it is technically a mod. Anytime that Nintendo is involved in one of these events, you've got to run Melee vanilla. And that's going to stifle a few things, because I know a lot of Melee players are pushing for Pokemon Stadium to be frozen to where it doesn't have any of the transformations.
No transitions, right?
Yeah. And be able to play on that stage at a competitive level, because when that stage isn't transforming, it's considered probably by and far one of the best stages in the game. Unfortunately, the famous saying, right? The famous saying is, it is a beautiful, beautiful legal stage that transforms into 3 banned ones. So, but it seems like the Smash World Tour is keeping it vanilla for future Nintendo support, and that they hope. I think I remember reading that they hope
possible.
Yeah, that they hope to work with Nintendo for that. And then there's other stuff in there like the ledge grab limit, which has been a thing since Brawl. That was, a little history lesson there, was to prevent Meta Knight from sharking, because Meta Knight would grab ledge, drop back, up air a whole bunch of times, and re-grab, get ledge invincibility. That's not really a problem in Ultimate, because Ultimate, the mechanic is, you can grab the ledge once and get invincibility, but you cannot re-grab it again and keep your invincibility. The next time you grab it, until you touch the stage, you're completely vulnerable, which is fantastic change.
It's very interesting to see these kinds of rules in a game like this, to see people
Smash's
these ways.
Smash's rule set is very very complex. In Ultimate, the struggle that they're looking at right now is Lilat's legal ability, Lilat Cruz's legal ability, where there was an event this past weekend in the Carolinas called Clash of the Carolinas 3.
Yeah.
And Buzz, the world's forefront Rosalina Luma / Olimar player, he was recovering on Lilat as Rosalina and appeared to just kind of clip through the stage, not grab the stage, and fall to his death and lose the tournament. Yeah, because this was a Game 5 last stock situation.
Stuff.
It's very soul crushing stuff. However, Smash World Tour has this legal in their rulebook. So that's going to open up a lot of discussion going forward, to see if a lot of these tournaments that are on the schedule are going to follow that rule set. Because I know Get On My Level Up in Canada has stated that they intended to not have that stage legal.
Now, this does of course pose the question of whether or not Nintendo will be issuing patches midway through the tour, right?
Nintendo's good. They're going to patch whenever they want to patch.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think Nintendo has never once cared. It's not like Dragon Ball, where the developers are very closely following the competitive scene and actively supporting it. Because I know the director of Dragon Ball FighterZ had stated before, during season 2, she didn't want to patch the game in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
And I think that's that's a wonderful thing. However, Smash Bros. Ultimate, given that it has a very wide casual appeal, they're going to patch stuff just as they see fit, as they release stuff, and you generally get balance adjustments during when a character drops. Now we don't know when this next character is dropping because that's going to be version 8.0, I want to say, because they always go up a whole number every time that they patch the game. Yeah, but no, they will absolutely patch in the middle of the
middle of the
tour.
Yeah, it's gonna have some big implications, and you wonder if they're gonna acknowledge these issues at all, right? Like how
probably
much,
not.
if they're
I'm gonna be real with you, probably not.
The chat says that Garrick Mack, obviously the new Three Houses stage in Battlefield or Final Destination form, is banned because it has different blast zone dimensions to every other variant stage. Is this true?
That's actually true. Yeah, no, the new Fire Emblem stage, the Battlefield FD version of it, is actually shorter. You will die sooner off the top of it than you would on any other Battlefield FD variant of any other stage, which is crazy.
For some reason.
Yeah,
that we can't discern.
Yeah. One other thing I wanted to touch on, which is and this is a big deal to the professional Smash community, is the for the Smash World Tour they are running it from March to December. Now, now every year there are the Panda Global Rankings, which are PGR names the top 50 in the world, and people have always felt really bad for missing any events because due to burnout or something like that, because they're going to miss out on the valuable points of those valuable wins to either maintain or make their ranking. Now, Smash World Tour is actually implementing an off season, which I know is going to make a lot of professional players very happy, and I think that's a good thing because it can be exhausting. I got exhausted running bi-weeklies.
This is it. Smash of all things, like you have, like Capcom has the CPT and the Tekken has the dojo system, but all of those things are built in a way that you don't necessarily have to go to every event. Like it ended up happening, like Tachikawa for the World Tour for Dragon Ball FighterZ, where he showed up to like every single event of the stop just so that he could get in, just so he could get enough points. But a lot of these guys in that bracket were just chilling after winning like 2 or 3 of them, right? Like they got these high placements. They knew that they were going to do it, but that's just not the mentality that Smash carries, right?
No, they don't.
They have to be there all the time, and this thing is all over the world, right? Like Smash community, by and large, in terms of majors, is in the U.S., right? It's within the U.S., be it East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, wherever you want. It's in the U.S. This thing has at least one Australia stop, a couple of Europe stops, and I think they have like a Japan stop. I'm not really sure. They have at least one Asian stop, so it's gonna be all over the place.
Yeah. Well, Japan's really interesting because they have a lot of their own regionals and majors, and they do count towards the PGR. But the big thing is due to the gambling laws in Japan, they are not able to, I think, distribute a cash prize.
Yes.
So because it's considered gambling. So it's kind of crazy. And Europe, I know there was a big meme last year. Where someone called European player like penguins or something. I can't remember. It was a really, really strange meme. Like basically, I remember what it was. Where people were talking about that Europe was not good at the game, and someone said that I guess they're about to it doesn't matter if the penguins in Antarctica are good at Smash if no one's ever going to play with them. Who cares? It was a really strange meme, and then all of a sudden,
that is a very rough thing to say.
Yeah. Smash community is weird like that. I fully accept and take responsibility for our quirks, but there's not a lot I can do about it. But yeah, I think Smash World Tour is really good. I think it's going to provide. I'm hoping that it's going to provide the monetary support that the scene really wants for their professional players to make a living off of this. And it's I'm really interested to look at it going forward, and definitely going to be following this one.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty big deal to see how we see. Because this is potential. This is one of those things that could potentially go on for more than one tour, right? Depending on the success of the tour.
Yeah, I'm hoping this becomes an annual thing.
Yeah,
I would definitely.
it's good to have something in the Smash community that feels like a unifying event, right? Because that's
Mhm.
like I want to say that there's always something that comes out kind of like a unifying event. Like Genesis 7 was the biggest thing to happen recently, and
Mhm.
this is obviously incorporating so many events and so many people. But yeah, it's really rough for them to say that actually, because I mean it's true in a way, right? Because they are isolated, right? They are isolated
Yeah.
in how they can play and what kind of support their publisher gives them and how they can even play online, right? Just
Yeah.
straight up, right? Like just straight up, they can't play uh, online with most of the world. So for that being said, we do have them in the situation where we don't know them, and this is true of other games. This is true of Tekken 7, right?
Mhm.
Where the the story of Arslan Ash and everybody, as soon as Arslan Ash came out and won Evo twice in a row, he said, "I'm not
Yeah.
even the best guy in my scene." And how is that possible? It's because we don't have a way to really evaluate that, right? We don't have a way to know who is
And
the
he's
best
from
player in that side of
Pakistan,
the world. He's
right?
in
Yeah.
Pakistan, yeah, and there was a mini documentary going around about
It's
Arslan Ash's
crazy.
Pakistani Tekken scene. How everybody there learns other characters just to help each other with the matchups, and how everybody there is a Tekken god, and we don't even know them,
Yeah.
right? We don't even know
I
them.
think. Yeah. Was that the scene that Core Gaming did a video on, or was that the
Yes.
Korean scene? Yeah.
Oh no, they did both. No, they did the Korean
They
one is
did
the one
both.
that they said how to start a local, I believe it was something like that.
Yeah.
That
That was.
they had their
Yeah.
Korean Tekken team there, and they showed like how they were playing in the back in one of their studios and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
remember that. Yeah,
Yeah. They're very supportive of one another, which is fantastic.
yeah, it was pretty crazy. And Arslan was the chat says Arslan was the best Pakistani player who could afford a plane ticket, and that's true. That's true in a way, right? We don't
Wow.
know if that isn't true. It's very crazy, but it's really cool to see the Smash World Tour go on. So one other thing in regards to fighting games, and we'll leave the fighting game debate off the table for now. In regards to fighting games, one other game that we had been playing a lot of recently, Proto, you and I, is Dragon Ball
Yes.
FighterZ. And Season 3 just came out, and you and I got a few games in
We
the Season
tried.
3 patch. We tried our best, tried our hardest.
Tried.
And I got some
Just that
independent
code's only
lab
going to take
time.
us so far.
Yeah, for sure. I got some independent lab time. I got some rank grind in, so I've been able to absorb a lot of what people are doing. I will say this. Dragon Ball Fighter Season 3. This is launching in a point in time where this game is not. There's no competition, right? Like
Yeah.
everything that's being played competitively is up in the air, right?
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Fighters of all games feels like very influenced by its top level, right? It feels like people are constantly watching top level players, constantly watching, brackets and seeing what people have been picking and what teams they've been running and what setups. It feels like everybody wants to copy being the best players, right? It's not
Yeah.
something you see everywhere. Like this is not a game because this game is not old, right? This isn't Tekken, this isn't Street Fighter. People haven't been playing
No.
that for 20 years. This game came out 2 years ago, right? So people
Yeah.
are
Well, it's
constantly trying to find the best that they have.
2017, right?
2017, yeah, something like that. And
Yeah.
the fact is that right now people can play what they like, is what I feel. I think everybody I talk to or everybody I see on Twitter are just playing what they want. There are buffs. There are characters who are objectively winners of the patch, like Android 21, that I see a lot of new tech coming out for. But that's not stopping anybody right now. Nobody's saying like, oh yeah, you don't want to play anything except for this team because everybody else is trash. So why wouldn't you just play this? I'm happy that that's finally the case because I feel like in season 2 that was the only thing we ever said was like, why if you're not playing King Goku,
Oh no.
you're not playing Kid Buu, what are you doing? Why are you playing
Yep.
the game, right? And yeah, it's really cool. I would say that a couple things that I like. I think EX costing half a bar, EX moves is really good
That's a good
because
move. That's a good change.
previously, like you have to wait because the thing is that system mechanics and tag fighters are so important. So when you place a cost on every single one, you have to wait. You have to weight your importance of using one, right? Like you have for 1 bar, you can either EX move, you can vanish, or you can do your super. Which one do you want? Well, vanish is not very good. Super gives me guaranteed damage if I connect it, and EX is not very good because I get at best a reversal that I'm gonna have to spend another bar on for a vanish combo or call an assist, or I'm just gonna get some arbitrary benefit that I really don't need if I can lab anyway, right? So now that I can think about maybe pulling a reversal, right? Because I think that reversal characters, especially like adult Gohan and like teen Gohan, like you don't have to worry about um using their DPs as much anymore. Because if you pull their DP, you just wasted a bar previously. Like if you get
Yeah.
punished, then you lost the bar and you suck, right? And you got punished. But now half a bar is not nearly as bad.
Yeah. I like
So
that
I really
change.
like it. And what do you think of the patch? What do you think, Proto?
I really like it. Dragon Ball is a game that beforehand I had actually really struggled to find the rhythm to it, and find a way that I really liked to play. And since this patch, and actually since Kefla too, I think Kefla is a lot of fun. I think she's really interesting, a lot of fun to play. Got really flashy combos. Her level 3 is just it's so cool to look at. And all these changes, the half bar change, I think is really solid. Um, the overall feel of the game, and just doing stuff like being able to do standing light into Dragon Rush, and little
Yeah.
things like that, giving the players more options, because that's what you do with that's what people like. That's what fighting game players like. They like to be given options. They like to be just given all this plethora of crazy stuff you can do, and that's what really makes a fighting game to me. Where it's very freeform, where you can do all sorts of crazy, silly things that shouldn't work, but then they do, and then they look super cool when you do it to somebody. Um, Dragon Ball just is this game. It really stepped in to try and fill that void that Marvel vs. Capcom 3 left behind. You
Yeah, it
know,
definitely has that Marvel 3 now. That Marvel 3
yeah,
shine
yeah,
right now.
especially now with the multiple assists. I think the C type assists are great. Like
I do
it's
too, actually.
yeah, it's helped me find the rhythm for the game, to where I come home and I'm like, oh no, what do I want to play? Do I want to play Smash? Do I want to play Power Rangers? Do I want to play Dragon Ball? What do I want to play? I don't know.
Yeah,
It's a
it's
hard
pretty great.
decision. Such a
Yeah,
hard
a lot of
decision.
variety.
Yeah.
A lot of variety.
I will say that C-type assists, a lot of people in competitive play had dismissed them, and I think that's valid because if you are using a beam assist for combos, you probably know how to do them already.
Hmm.
The fact is that it's very easy to follow up on a C-type assist. You usually are given sufficient sliding knockdown that as soon as you land on the floor, you can crouching medium, stand medium, continue the combo, sparking, whatever you want to do. You're able to easily get an extension. But I think that ease of use does not necessarily mean it's good in the context of a tag fighter where people are constantly labbing, right? So
Hmm.
I think that for most people, C-type assists are going to be great. I really like C-type Adult Gohan because not only do you get a very fast startup beam, if it connects, you get a combo. So
Yeah, which
you
is
have this
nuts.
you have this amazing utility that a beam assist would normally wouldn't have, right? Because a lot of these other assists, these C types, they all do this, right? They all give you a sliding knockdown so that you can continue the combo. But very few of them, I think like 2 or 3 of them, are actual beams. Most of them are close range attacks that you can block with a lot more telegraphing. But the Adult Gohan beam starts up extremely quick, so
Yeah,
it's really nice. I really enjoy playing Adult
crazy.
Gohan again, especially now that I
Yeah.
can be a little more comfortable with using the DP move now that I don't have to worry about like burning a whole bar, and the
Yeah.
fact that we're able to even do this is really great. I do think obviously there are some issues. There's the fact that there's poor netcode that we experience. The online will never be any better than it is.
I have a
However, um,
I have a whole rant about that, but I can't get into it right now.
yeah, right. However, that being said, fact is that they are improving the game for free in a very major way that I am very happy about. So, um, here's what we're gonna do. It looks like I'm able to get Gamers Anthem on the line right now, so give me just a minute. Should be able
Okay.
to get them going. Let's see here.
Yeah, I think this will be the point where I think I'm actually gonna step out of the call and
Okay,
go
no problem.
take care of some things. But real quick before I get off, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Um, Best of luck, guys, with the interview as well. You can catch me at Protodad's twitch.tv/ProtodadsDojo, or Twitter at ProtodadPlays. Feel free to drop me a follow.
All right, so we finally got our guest in. Well, this is our interview for tonight. We are going to be talking to Tanya, who is calling us from Bryan, Texas, and she is opening up a new gaming venue called Gamers Anthem, and she's here on the call with us. So, Tanya, I know a lot of people here are very interested, but they might not have heard about your venue yet. So, why don't you give us a short introduction?
Hi, everyone. My name's Tanya. I'm the owner of Gamers Anthem here in Bryan, Texas. Super excited to bring what I like to call social gaming to this area. We'll have, my son refers to it as a console arcade, and we'll have PlayStation, VR, Xbox, Nintendo, hopefully everything that the console gamers love.
Okay. So
Nice.
that's very interesting. So, regarding you told well, the first thing I found out actually about you is that when I was giving your contact is that you're not a gamer at all. You don't play video games. This is just your business venture that you're doing. So is that true? Is that a true at all? Like, how much video games do you play, for example?
So I like to call myself an aspiring gamer.
Okay.
My
I like that. I
My
like that.
son is a gamer, but I refuse to let him beat me at anything. So if he's challenging me, oh, it's on. I refuse to back down. So I'm an inspiring gamer. So hopefully this has already taught me a lot, and hopefully I can learn more about what it takes to be a gamer.
Okay. Very interesting.
All right.
So,
Perfect. And let me ask you a question real quick, actually, Tanya. In the past, right? What kind of games did you ever delve into? Did you perhaps play Mario? Did you play Pac-Man, Donkey Kong? What kind of games did you play in the past? Or did you even play any games, you know, before you had your son, or maybe when he was a child? How old is your son, by the way, if you don't mind us asking?
Yeah, he's actually here with me right now. He just turned 17 last week.
okay. All right. All
Well,
right.
happy birthday to your son.
Happy birthday to our man over there.
Hey.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. No, but we heard about this primarily because you guys were opening up with a lot of tournaments. The first thing I saw was somebody had forwarded me that you guys were planning a Mortal Kombat tournament, and I think that's great. Here on the show, here between everybody that's here on the show, everybody tuning in, we love fighting games. So it's really cool to see a venue open up with that specific focus because we don't necessarily see that a lot these days. We see a lot of mobile gaming or shooters or other types of
Battle Royale.
yeah, things like that. So let me just see. You opened up the business obviously inspired by your son, and what do you do aside from this, right? Like, what is your background in business? What?
So it's funny you asked that. I actually have my MBA with a focus in human resources. So
Okay.
I may not be having extensive gaming knowledge, but I understand people and I'm a good listener. So
Okay,
my goal
great.
is to listen to what the gamers are asking for and try my best to provide that to them.
That's
Okay.
great, and community feedback is extremely important in this business. Like when you guys were setting up the business, because you guys aren't open yet. You guys open what day exactly?
This Saturday.
This Saturday. And you guys have the venue ready. I've seen the pictures. That's March 7th that you guys open up. When you guys were setting up the venue, what were some of the challenges that you might not have been ready for that you had to learn in setting up a gaming venue? What are some of those things that you did not expect when you were getting started?
So it's funny you asked that because that's what we're here doing now. We're actually here downloading or pre-downloading games so that when customers come in, it doesn't take them long to start their time on their system. Want to make it kind of stress-free for the gamer when they come in and not a lot of waiting around. Just be
Okay.
able to come in, pick up a controller and go.
Okay,
So
for sure.
most of the people in my son's circle are PlayStation players, so definitely learning about the Xbox and how it differs from PlayStation
Okay.
has been one of the challenges.
Okay, very very interesting. Just having those different tech setups. Do you guys consult with anybody in specific? Do you guys have any local resources that you guys go to, or has this been a lot of like learning by doing, or how has that been?
Is learning as we go. I really do lean on his circle. We actually had a test run on Saturday night, and we
Okay.
had probably about 11 gamers here just giving feedback on things they thought would make it better, things they liked. And it's funny you guys are a fighting community because that's what they did. We pretty much battled all
Oh, that's
Saturday.
amazing. That's great. It's good to hear. That really pleases. I mean, a lot of us personally on the podcast. But
Oh, absolutely.
that's a good question, right? Like your focus is obviously console. So, what are you most interested in? What communities do you know the most of? Do you know mostly fighting game communities? Are you aware of other esport communities, or what does it look like for you? Who are the people who have approached you with the most interest?
To be honest with you, just the teens,
Just
teens,
people.
young adults, just really excited that this type of atmosphere is coming to Bryan College Station, and wonder why it hasn't come sooner.
Yeah, it's tough, especially that now a lot of conversation that people have is how do we connect people around the world with lower latency, lower response time. So how do we basically just make it so easy to do that they don't even have to leave their house? But especially now with certain genres of video games, especially fighting games or esports centered games, we have to have these localized places where we can play them with zero latency, with
Real
our
time.
person real right next to us, right? Because there's no way that there's no replacement basically. It's come to pass that there's just no replacement to something like that. All you can really do is go to your local, basically is what we call it. It's the best feeling in the world for a lot of us, and I'm sure a lot of the people tuning in will agree with me on that. Um, I will
Yeah,
say,
there's nothing like that. There's
yeah, there's
nothing
nothing
like that
like
at
that.
all,
There's really
man.
no other experience.
I got to experience that firsthand Saturday night, seeing these group of people here playing, and they were doing. I think they were playing
Blaze Blue
Blaze
Blaze
Blue.
Blue.
All right, very cool. We got Blaze Blue
Oh,
in the chat. All right, very
nice.
nice.
Shout
You would have
out to
thought
Blaze
there was
Blue.
1 million people in this room. It was insane. It was like we were at a real life fighting match.
Yeah,
It was a
that's
great.
the hype. That's the hype. That's what I like to see. Let's go Blaze
That's
Blue.
nice.
It's very
And was
cool.
that like a soft launch for you guys, or what exactly was that for?
Just a test run. Just a
Just a
test
test
Okay.
run.
run.
Okay.
So, invited some of his friends that are gamers, and it was amazing. The atmosphere was definitely amazing.
No, that's
Yeah.
Are
awesome.
you
Now,
prepared then? Are you prepared? Because I mean, that's just the beginning then, right? I mean, if it was like that, can you imagine what it's gonna be like when you go ahead and actually open officially? I mean, how do you feel? I mean, are you excited or are you a little intimidated or you're up for the challenge? How do you feel about that?
I'm ecstatic. I mean, I was. It felt like you were really at a real live fighting match, and the energy that was in here, it was insane, and I can't wait to live that on a daily basis
that's
and
great.
bring that to everyone.
And
And
what did your son say about it? How did he feel about that?
You here right now? You want to tell?
It felt actually crazy. I'm not saying it felt like Evo crazy, but
like
it was
not
pretty
not
crazy.
Evo, but it's crazy. All right,
Hey,
It felt
it'll
like
get there one day. You never know.
it'll get there. Yeah.
it felt pretty cool. Had
Nice.
fighters up in one corner, cross tag battle on one another, and then we had my friend playing Wii Sports boxing against Matt. That was the craziest part. I already know Matt was going off. That was beat off.
Wow.
We had okay, I like that, and it's really great. Like, cause especially with the fighting game crowd, people are so accepting that you can have these oddball things on the side, and they're just totally willing to adopt it. Like, it's one of those things where you just bring like a bunch of things, and then you just throw this oddball game or this oddball title, and everybody's hype. Everybody loves it. It's really
There'll always be
unlike
something to
anything.
do. There'll always be something to do there, you know?
Now my question is this: you had listed in your offering, Tanya, that you guys were going to be doing virtual reality. So you guys have an extensive virtual reality setup. What does that look like?
So basically, we're gonna do the PlayStation VR.
Okay.
I'll be honest. I've been trying to get my hand on an Oculus just so I could let people try that out.
Uh-huh.
I think it's amazing, but unfortunately, it's been sold out.
Yeah, it's been extremely sold out with Half-Life Alyx coming out in the very soon. So I mean, it's a huge title. I think that if you're able to offer Half-Life to people to try it, it's going to be a very, very big point of contention, right? Because
Yes.
it's available on PC, but it's going to be this big blockbuster title that you guys can incorporate that very few people are going to have their hands on, I think, at first, because of the fact that it's sold out. It's just sold out for everybody right now. It's very hard to get a VR headset, and with a big title like that around the corner, it's very, very valuable if you're able to get a hand on something like that. So you guys do a lot of PSVR. Like, what games do you have for PSVR?
I'll be honest, my favorite is the Beat Saber.
Beat Saber. All right, yeah, everybody loves Beat Saber.
That's definitely one of my favorites. What
Really just thinking of what we can get right now. We're looking forward to something is like I personally I like myself some Rec Room. You know, there's not a lot of real cool titles on PSVR, but we're gonna get something crazy on there. Like
Okay, for sure.
And I think for a lot of people, it'll be their first time experience.
That's true.
Yes.
So
That's
just
very
want
true.
to give that experience to this community.
It's extremely valuable. Yeah, it's not something that everybody's familiar with, but it's really growing, and a lot of software companies have gotten behind it. So it's really great for businesses to be able to offer those experiences, especially with ease of setup. Right? It's not easy to set up these things, but once you have it, obviously it does become a lot easier to play consistently. And let me ask you, like, aside from that, is there anything else that you guys offer that you guys want to like pitch or promote? Like, what do you guys have anything else that stands apart that you guys really want to talk about?
Oh, so I do have a small venue room. My goal is to be able to offer birthday parties, special events. Like I said, the interview this past Saturday was amazing, and if I can incorporate that with customer special events, I know it'll be a memorable occasion event for them. So I'd like to definitely pitch that out there and let people know that we'll have that available. But just honestly, wanting to just bring this to this community, something new and fresh and exciting. And I always say there's something for every gamer, even if you're not a serious gamer. We've got everything, games that are catered to toddlers all the way up to those that do the shooter games. You know,
Right, right.
to cater to everybody.
To the hardcore, absolutely. Now, I
Okay.
wanted to ask you something, Tanya. Have you guys considered probably getting some cabinets, some arcade cabinets, or even those custom cabinets that have, all these different old games already preloaded onto them? Were you guys possibly considering doing that sometime in the future?
So we will have two retro consoles. Is that what you're asking about? Oh,
Well,
arcade.
yeah, they have arcade cabinets nowadays where you can have all these classic fighting games like the old Street Fighter games and the old Mortal Kombat games already preloaded on there in one big machine. So it has thousands of games on there. Is that something that you perhaps might consider doing, later on in the line?
Definitely. You know, we have limited space here right now, but my goal is if I can get the support of the community, we're going to make this even bigger, make
Okay.
an even bigger venue, and definitely extend out the things that we can offer to the community.
It's really good to be able to take feedback in that way. Now my chat is asking me here how you get something like this started. So I guess the question that we'd have to ask in that context is when you guys decided that you wanted to do this, what was the first big question that you had to ask yourselves?
Money.
How
Money.
much
All
is this
right.
going to cost me?
Okay. A lot of money. There you go. I think that's our answer.
Let me be honest. I didn't get any funding from anybody. I didn't get any loans. This is all my savings that I've worked
Okay.
hard the last couple of years and have saved this to do this. Because I feel like gaming has something to offer for everyone. It's
Absolutely.
a great stress relief, and I see so many people, while working in human resources that are just stressed out from their everyday lives, and this is a great way to just kind of just let go, take your mind off of those things that are stressing you out.
Okay, yeah, I agree with
I
that.
agree.
And as a matter of fact, let me ask you, like, do you see that now? You told me that you're an aspiring gamer, right? And obviously your son is very much into games that he's able to converse with me about this. But like, I assume that you acknowledge that nowadays gaming as a mainstream media has gotten huger. Like people who don't play video games are constantly seeing them now. Do you think that that's true? Like they're able to see gaming almost everywhere they go.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I was one of those individuals that honestly didn't understand why my son wanted to play on this game so much, go over to a friend's house and play. But now, it's I've opened my eyes and understand that this is bigger than just him and I. This is worldwide, this
Mhm.
is, and I really believe in the future. Gaming is definitely just going to be taking over everything pretty much.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No, I think that you have it dead on, especially like nowadays the business aspect of gaming is slowly ramping up and slowly becoming more global. And even in that global landscape, it's very important to understand that the local environment that you can create is something that will always persevere, I think, especially with the right
Yeah.
guidance and the right community feedback and really knowing your audience. So Tanya, as a matter of closing, right? I don't know if you have anything that you would like to say. I don't know if you want to give me one more pitch regarding your business, when you're going to be open, what you're going to be offering first. Just you have the floor. What do you want to say to the people watching?
Well, first of all, thank you all for having me on. This is definitely an honor and a privilege for myself and my son. Um, and I just want to encourage everyone to come out and support us so that we can make this bigger for the gaming community. I know you guys are out there and you have just been waiting for something like this. Come support our first Mortal Kombat tournament. That'll be March 27th. Um, Come support us March 7th at 1 p.m. for our grand opening. It's going to be amazing. We're going to give out free food. We're going to have a great time and lots of gaming, of course.
That's great. That's great.
Man, that's gonna be intense, but it's gonna
So
be well worth it.
it's gonna be well worth it. And yeah, and we do have some of our members interested in going for the opening. So you're gonna hear from us again very soon, guys. This is Gamers Anthem out there in Bryan, Texas. If you're interested,
Shout out
you
to
can
Bryan,
go to
Texas.
shout out to Bryan, Texas. You can check them out at gamersanthem.com. You can follow them on Instagram. You can follow them on Facebook. All their accounts are available on their website, and of course, will be if you're listening to this on YouTube or on the podcast platforms, you're going to be able to access their sites on the description. So Tanya, thank you for coming on. If you ever have any other need of us, feel free to reach out. You know where we are, and we're going to see you on the opening. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right,
Have a good
Tanya.
night, guys. Thank you for joining us.
Have a good one.
Yes.
Right.
That was cool, man.
It's very cool. Very cool. It's nice to have them. We do have just about one more topic before we call it a night here on the podcast, and that is Valorant. Project A by Riot Games.
Mhm.
And Project A,
AKA CSOW.
CSOW, aka CSOW. That's the overwhelming feeling towards a game like this. Uh, yeah, Valorant has been a very mixed reception towards the people you ask, right? Everybody you ask seems to have a different take on Valorant, but I wanna give kind of a breakdown for people who don't really know about it, right? Like, Valorant is Project A, one of the many games that Riot Games announced at their 10th anniversary, and one of them was going to be a competitive shooter, and we saw it, and it was called Project A, and now we know it's called Valorant, and now we have an idea of the characters and how it plays, and they basically just showed us the whole gameplay loop. So if you're not familiar, it's a tactical shooter, first-person shooter, in the style of Counter-Strike, with some very crazy variations that we'll talk about in a minute. It's aimed at almost every type of PC that can play a video game right now. They fully admit that the game is supposed to be scaled from 10 years old PCs to modern gaming PCs, and they're just interested in capturing the whole FPS market, right? Like, they're not trying to push the boundaries like Modern Warfare. They're not trying to be constantly up to date. They're just trying to be this accessible platform that every single FPS gamer can access. So that's great. You know, they have that feather in their cap, and Riot is familiar with that, right? With the way that they have League of Legends available for a multitude of PC setups, right?
Yeah.
And they are interested in releasing this free to play this summer, right? So it's going to be coming sooner than you all believe, like especially like Legends of Runeterra, their card game. It came out relatively quickly, so they have a lot of opportunities to do things like that. The gameplay. So I do want to talk about the gameplay. It seems like there's maybe a little bit of misconception about the game, maybe because it's not very well conveyed. But the way it works is like this, if you're interested, right? Just to give you a breakdown. The way it works is that there's a buy at the beginning of each round. It looks like bomb defusal mode. It looks like that's the only mode there is. And they are able to buy every weapon, so it's just like Counter-Strike, you just buy a weapon, but
Yeah.
you pick a character at the beginning of the round, and that determines your ability. So every character shares the same health pool, the same guns, right? But they don't have the same abilities. So these abilities, they have 4 different abilities. 2 of them are purchasable in stock. So they're like buying grenades or buying any type of equipment. You will buy charges of your ability. And you have 1 that will passively recharge over the course of the match. So you don't have to spend on it. You simply have to wait for the cooldown. And then
Right,
you have another
signature.
one that is going to
And then
be
your
your ultimate move that you'll be earning by scoring kills or objective play, right? So that's basically like your kill streak, and I believe that depending on the power of your ultimate, because there are some very crazy ultimates that we'll get to in a minute, you will need to accumulate a substantial amount of lead to actually call them. So it's very possible that they're not very often seen in a match, right? Like once if ever, once or twice. Um, I think that the gameplay loop is. I'm glad that they didn't go with a straight up character shooter. I don't like that my gun options are like pea shooter over here and assault rifle over here with video like Overwatch. I just some weapons just don't feel satisfying to use. So the fact that I'm able to stick to something that I like or something that's competitive is very good, right? I think that's great. Now, I do think that there's a bit of confusion in regards to tracking abilities and buys. So the thing about it is like this. There's a character that has a different sense of verticality because they get a super jump on their ability charge. So they would be able to get to a part of the map that you previously would not be able to get to with that character. Now, my first issue is that if I am the enemy team, I have to track their ability to be in a completely different part of the map at any given time. And whether or not I have to buy it. It looks like with that character with the super jump, you have to buy their ability.
Are you talking about Omen?
I believe it's not Omen. It's a different character that has I believe it's Jet that has that. I could be wrong. They have a super jump. So the fact is that I'm gonna have to track a lot of things now, right? Like in Counter Strike, you always have to track your opponent's buys. You know, if they bought guns, if they bought grenades, if they bought equipment, right? So you want to share that information. But there's a whole nother dimension now where you have equipment, guns, and ability charges, right? And you have to know how their ability charges can change the game, which is interesting but perhaps overwhelming. I just think adding that extra dimension of sharing without necessarily expanding the information available, I don't think they're going to show you what abilities are available in the leaderboard or anything like that. You're going to have to know, and it could be potentially very restrictive, right? Like people who are communicating well versus people who don't communicate well, they're gonna have a very hard time tracking
Right.
abilities. That was my first like major impression of the game. I don't know what you have to say in regards to
I
what you've
think
seen.
I think it's obviously it's going to be a success, right? It's Riot, so that's going to be a given. Now, what I want to see is it going to be cross-platform, cross-play with mobile,
No,
right? Because well, the reason, and even though you say no, the reason I ask is because, like you said, I mean, they're making it in a way so 10-year-old PCs can even play it, and obviously the phones out today are much better than a 10-year-old PC, right? So
yeah,
that's what I want to see what they do. You say that they're not going to. Is it something that they might do in the future? Perhaps because the hardware is there,
they could.
right?
I'm not saying they
So,
can't. I just don't think it's a good business strategy. So consider Rainbow Six Siege, right? A game that
mhm,
is available on consoles, but none of the tournaments are playing this on consoles. They're playing it with mouse and keyboard on PC. That is a dominant platform for an FPS. Counter Strike already said that,
yes.
right? Counter Strike said this is your platform for FPS games. If you don't like it, we're not going to take you into account. This is the game, and
I think it would happen though, just because of the amount of money they could make.
I
Especially
don't see it.
especially with since it's being F2P at first, and I'm sure there's gonna be things that you could purchase. I think as a business strategy, I think they might perhaps
They might
believe in it.
release it, but I don't think it's going to be amazing. I don't think
Maybe
the
not
thing
at
is that
once.
consider the Counter Strike Global Offensive was on consoles. It was on Xbox. It got abandoned. They never released it for Xbox One, but it was there. And I don't think that. I think they've seen enough examples, or I've seen enough examples, where the console version of a competitive shooter is so irrelevant that I think the only smart thing for them to do is just not put it out in the first place. It's very possible that in the future they release a similar game for consoles and mobile, but I don't know about that. I don't think that they will
Maybe
want
it's
to
for next
mix.
gen
No, I mean the fact that
with their
they're
infrastructure.
targeting almost every PC available right now is the fact it just doesn't sound that feasible. Now, and there's a couple reasons for that. When you see the game, one thing I noticed is that the characters don't have physics. When they fall over dead, they just fall over in a very static animation, and people were saying, "Oh wow, that animation is really janky. It looks
Yeah, it's very
weird."
simple.
But there's a reason for that, and it comes down to the fact that the game probably doesn't have a physics engine at all.
Right,
It,
so
it
more
doesn't
some more
have it.
hardware to
Yeah,
support it.
exactly. It probably doesn't have ragdoll physics at all in the engine. League of Legends doesn't, right? Everything is a baked animation in League of Legends. That's why it's able to run on low end CPUs. There's
Mhm.
no physics system. There's no like simulation going on. Everything is hard coded. Everything is exact. The animation team obviously has to go to a lot of great lengths to make everything look smooth, but Riot is willing to do that so that people can play the game. So
Right, keep it simple.
I think that this game is going to have to compete with very low end optimized games, notably in the Chinese market. Crossfire, Sudden Attack, to name a few. Very large shooters in Asia that are not big here, but they're big over there, and a lot of people over there have very low end PCs, so these games are optimized for low end PCs.
Yeah.
So it's very likely that they're just going to want to capture the PC market with this. There's no reason they don't, right? I think if you release this on console, you have the potential to create a very. The game would have to be like a major smash hit for them to consider that. I think it would have to be like Overwatch levels of smash hit for them to
I mean, that's
decide.
it kind of does look like Overwatch though, so it might definitely
Like
appeal to those
hey,
people.
Overwatch is on Switch, but that doesn't mean anybody takes it seriously, right? That's just the thing. So
Right.
it comes down to whether or not Riot wants to offer this on platforms that are simply not competitive. And I don't know if they would do that because Riot loves their esports. They love it.
Yeah.
So I think that they would want to give everybody that opportunity. So they would probably not, at least in my opinion, release it on other consoles.
Yeah, and it
It's
says here it's
probably going to be
supposed to
PC only.
release sometime this summer.
Yes,
So
summer 2020, so it's very soon. It's obviously
maybe
going to have
in
an esports league.
July.
Obviously, there's no question. We already know.
Oh yeah, it's creative with that intention,
Yeah, it's
so
created with those intentions. That's just the only way
absolutely.
it is. Now, it will be interesting seeing how long they take to do it. Because Legends of Runeterra is a great card game. There's no competition though. They have not done anything about it, or like people like the game. People have very nice things to say about it, but there's no competition, no money, no leagues, no ranks. Like all you can do is rank grind, and that's it.
No,
So
right.
I hope that one thing that they can learn going from Valorant, from Legends of Runeterra to Valorant is that hey, where's the competitive money? Where's the competition? It's not there. You decided, Riot Games decided from the get-go that they have every control over the competitive community. Great.
Hmm.
So do something with it. You know what I mean? Like it's very strange that Magic Arena has a huge esports scene and they're doing fine. But Legends of Runeterra comes out, and there's no news of competitive. So I hope that with Valorant, in the face of Counter-Strike Global Offensive being more popular than ever, they recently peaked playership all time. They recently hit peak players again. A
I'm gonna have to
game,
start playing that.
Counter-Strike Global Offensive, it's free now. Everybody can play it. That's why there's so
Yeah.
many people playing it. It's insane. But, like, they have competitives all the time. They have all their majors all the time. You know about Counter-Strike esports just if you turn on the TV. It's on TBS, man. It's crazy.
It's Counter Strike, bro.
Yeah, it's Counter Strike. Everybody loves Counter Strike. Chat says I'm worried that it's going to be another mediocre game that's kept afloat by money but sucks to play and watch. I mean,
Probably.
yeah, I don't want it to be another OWL, but the fact that there's wall mechanics, resurrection, there seems to
Yeah, I saw that
be
the resurrection. Yeah, I saw that.
there's healing orbs, just these anti-shooter mechanics that are very difficult. The thing about it, you know what I mean? The thing about adding those mechanics is that they become visually cluttered, right?
Yes.
Uh,
Too
it's
much is
not
going on the
easy to
screen.
watch Overwatch. It isn't. Every time I pull up a clip of Overwatch, it's a complete mess. Like there's so many things going on at once. I'm sure somebody with sufficient knowledge will be able to enjoy it, right? But
Hmm.
that's not what we want. We don't need the players to be watching it. We need them to be spending money on the game. We need this to serve as a marketing tool for our game, right? Counter-Strike is great because everybody understands. The guns are straightforward, right? The grenades don't take up the whole screen. It's very simple to understand. Okay, there's a Molotov, so now that area is denied. So you can't go there because there's fire. And if you walk into fire, you take damage. Like that's so simple. It's so
Right.
simple to understand. But no, this game, there's traps and
S-
resurrections and
Big
global attacks
big
and
venom,
it,
big
it's
venom,
very
smoke.
Yeah,
I
big
don't know what the
smoke
hell it
bombs
is.
that you can put around and cover a whole area of the map. Like, I'm sure people who like Rainbow Six Siege will probably enjoy this game because there's like a spy cam character, and that's spy cams are extremely pivotal to Rainbow Six Siege. So I'm sure that a lot of people that are already playing these games are very interested, right? That I have no doubt of, especially for the fact that it's free, right? And everybody's gonna be able to play it. So they're all gonna download it day one anyway. That's a
We're
given.
all gonna try it.
We're all
We're
gonna play it. The fact, but who's gonna stick with it, right? So
Exactly.
I hope that they are able to prove us wrong in the grand scheme of things, because there's resurrection. Everything that people don't like about hero shooters is in this game. Resurrections, X-rays, visual clutter. The maps are clean, right? They look like Counter-Strike maps, but everything else
Very
is
close
just all
quarters,
over
too.
the place. You know what I mean? Yeah, and there's a lot of tight corners is something that people were saying, and that's true. There wasn't like a long section, right? Or there's very few open spaces, and Counter-Strike maps are very known for their open spaces. So it's very it's very different
It's just gonna be over
approach.
the top, man. You know what I mean?
It's gonna
just
be over the top, but I don't know if over the top sells esports. I don't know.
No, it'll just frustrate people.
It will frustrate people. It
It'll
will
just
frustrate people.
and they'll turn it
And
off.
the fact is that they're gonna have to put more characters in this game eventually. So where did they draw the line, right? They already put resurrection in the game. They already put global attacks in the game. They already put spy cams and drones and stuff in the game.
Yeah, and you got a guy that can
So
freaking
what's
teleport to any
next?
part of the map.
Yeah,
You know?
there's a teleport function. So this thing's gonna go completely crazy.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna have to even put even more characters, because they're not gonna stick with those 8 characters for the rest of the lives.
No.
That's not how Riot Games works.
No, I'll go by seasons probably.
Yeah, it'll go by seasons, and they'll put out characters, and I just have no idea anymore, because it looks like an amalgamation of everything that has gone. Like, it just looks like you take every shooter that's come out in the past 10 years and just here, now you have it. This game is everything that came out in the last 10 years in one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it looks cool, it looks interesting, but like I said, I think they're trying to maybe do a little too much.
Yeah,
So
there's a lot going
they're
on.
taking away from the FPS experience, right? Because now they're adding all these extra perks and all these special abilities that aren't necessarily balancing in an FPS,
Yeah.
right? So I think it's gonna hurt the balance of the game. I think there's gonna be a lot of OP characters, and if there are more than one, or if there is more than one OP character, if there's like three, it's gonna hurt the game.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard for them to balance it. I mean, League of Legends is not considered a very balanced game, but it's still an extremely played game. It's played a lot, so
Yeah, but for an FPS, you need balance.
FPS
man.
they got to have balance. Yeah, Counter Strike balance is very very good, very solid. I mean, it's extremely straightforward. So I genuinely hope the best for them, but I'm not gonna hold my breath on this one. We're gonna just have to play it. That's really the only thing that can be
Yeah,
done.
summer.
That's
We'll
it. I mean,
see.
what else? So that's Valorant, right? At this point, everybody, if you want to go look at Valorant, go Google it. It's gonna show you the trailers. You can see what it looks like for yourself. You can see all the little intricacies on the screen, because it's just straight up gameplay. There's no cinematic or anything like that, which is nice. So you will be able to draw your own conclusions, and I highly suggest you draw your own conclusions, right? And because they're gonna have to listen to community feedback on this game. There's no way that they take on other shooters if it's not. I don't think Riot Games is okay with putting out a mediocre free-to-play shooter that's going to be dead in a month. I don't think that that's the way they do business, especially with the fact that they have to compete with Blizzard, and being this big unified games company that just makes like tons of smash hit titles. They can't do that. They can't
Well, when
afford
does
that.
Overwatch 2 come out again?
I'm not sure, but I don't think.
Yeah,
I don't know what.
I don't know
I don't
about
even.
Overwatch
I don't even
anymore.
think about it right now. I think that this game is going to exist in a vacuum for a little while.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
Valorant.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how I feel about it right now, honestly. I have to see more. Maybe, things will change once we get our hands on it. But honestly, like when I saw it, I'm like, okay, that's cool. But then you saw all these extra things that they have going on the screen and all these different power-ups and these abilities. I'm like, am I playing a shooter or what am I playing?
What are you really playing? Yeah, it's that's very true. That's very true.
You know,
I do have to ask you.
I don't know.
I think that Valorant, we're gonna see it. We're gonna either love it or hate it. I think that at this point the inevitable has already come to pass. We know about it. We knew we were gonna know about it, and now we just have to
Mhm.
wait for it to play. And it's gonna be free, so everybody's gonna play it, and we're all gonna draw our conclusions. And that's
Yeah.
great. So let's just wait and see for now.
It's a wait and see game, man.
It is a way to see. So what else is coming out? What are you looking at?
Doom.
Doom,
Doom Eternal.
March 20.
March 20. You know, the previous installment, 2016, the relaunch of the franchise, man, I mean, that game was so good. I bought it on PS4 and PC, so I'm definitely looking forward to Doom Eternal. This time I will get it on PC rather than on PS4. But I'm really looking forward to that. I think that game might also be potentially game of the year. I mean, I know Doom
Final Fantasy 7 is
2016
there,
won.
but this
It
is
won game of the year.
a big one.
So, you know, 2016 was good. So, you know, Eternal is gonna be better, man. And I can't wait, man. I can't wait to see, especially now with you know, the hook that Doom guy is gonna have. So
Yeah, all the new abilities and gadgets.
so that's gonna be sick, man. And you know, I'm sure it's gonna be a lot tougher because you know, Doom 2016 definitely had a learning curve to it. It's you know, it's definitely a tougher game to play, right? If you're mostly used to these Twitch shooters, it's nothing like that, right? It's your real FPS, right? So I'm excited. I'm excited to check it out. I expected to get high scores all over the board, just like the previous one. So yeah, I definitely want to try that. And you know, of course, man, you know, we got April, you got Resident Evil 3,
Resident Evil 3. That's so soon, man.
you
It's just
know.
it feels like we're never gonna be done with this. It's about to come out. It's insane.
Hey, I mean, you can never get enough Resident Evil 3, so you know, hopefully we'll get a demo soon.
Yeah,
You know,
demo
I
soon,
don't really want
hopefully.
to talk about the gameplay yet because you know it's not the same watching it than actually playing it,
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
So, you know, hopefully we'll get a demo soon, just like the one-shot demo with Resident Evil 2. So hopefully
Oh
we'll get
yeah.
a demo
Oh yeah.
soon, and if we do, you know, we'll definitely have the footage for you guys with our impressions, and you know, I think yeah, I mean, there's gonna be a lot of games, and you know, of
It's gonna
course,
be a lot of
your kind
games.
of game. You know,
Yeah,
Final Fantasy, man.
Final Fantasy coming out. It's gonna be amazing. I think one game that people should be paying attention to is Baldur's Gate 3.
Baldur's
Baldur's
Gate
Gate
3.
3 is a game coming out on PC. And if you are interested in RPGs, I urge you, if you have a gaming PC, to check it out, to go look up the game, the way the game works, because this
Yeah.
is a game you might be familiar with Baldur's Gate from a long time ago, but
I
you're
have
not
friends that
familiar
played it.
with the way that Larian Studios is going to make this game. And the cinematic recently came out, and we watched it on my stream,
Yeah.
where this game is going to have a feature where you're able to pick from characters with fully voiced voice acting. They're going to have backgrounds unique to their game. They're going to have unique twists on their campaign, or just play your own character. Because that's how Divinity, their original series, their original RPG series, Divinity works. They have origin characters, and we know that that's going to be brought over to Baldur's Gate. Unheard of for D&D universe to have something like that. So they're going to have these great quality Dungeons and Dragons lore characters that you're able to play as and experience their story firsthand. Or maybe you don't even want to do that. You can play your own character, make them whatever you want, and you can recruit those people to your party so you can still experience them from an outsider perspective. And that is like people love to say player choice. People love to say, doing whatever you want in an RPG. I don't think that there's better freedom in a video game, in an RPG, than something like that. Being able
Right.
to play compelling stories or just experience them as your own character and recruit them and see what they have to say about it. Unheard of, right?
Yeah,
So
how you want to play?
that's
Yeah,
how
I
you
mean,
want to play. You could really pick. I mean, right down to the character, because you have to think about it. From the beginning of an RPG, you have to decide, okay, well, my character is the center of the story, obviously, but I am a silent protagonist, or maybe I'm a voice protagonist, or maybe I have no decision over what I can do. If you like Mass
yeah.
Effect, check this
Or
game out.
or you know, like you said, silent protagonist like Destiny, man. Jesus Christ, man, that guy doesn't talk.
He doesn't talk. Yeah, exactly. Like you have these. You have either characters that are just blank slates, right? That you just can't hear anything about, or you have a character but you have no influence over the choices, right?
Yeah.
But you can do both here. You have characters that are preset with good stories that you can still influence, or you can play your own character and have them do whatever you want and still have other characters that have interesting stories going on at the same time. So if you guys like RPG games,
I might even
Cyberpunk is
check
about
that
to
out.
come out. Cyberpunk's about to come out. Final Fantasy 7 is about to come out. But
Final
I
Fantasy
urge
VII.
you, I urge you to go look up Baldur's Gate 3. And maybe this is the type of game that you've been waiting for, especially if you like tabletop, if you like old style RPGs, if you've been playing RPGs for a long time, this is probably for you. So I would urge people who are, because now the big blockbuster games are RPGs, right? We're not talking
Yeah.
about shooters, RPGs. So if you're interested in RPGs, check out Baldur's Gate 3. I think it's going to be worth it. I'm very interested in seeing the release and them bring everything that Divinity Original Sin 2 brought to RPGs to Dungeons and Dragons, right? Because the only thing that can really make Original Sin 2 better as an RPG gamer is to bring it to Dungeons and Dragons, because everybody loves that universe, and I don't think enough people really get a chance to experience it in gaming, right? Outside
Yeah.
of tabletop. So looking
And
forward
it's
to that.
classic. Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
extremely classic, yeah. I think that's just about everything that I have for now. In
Yeah.
terms
Oh,
of what you got.
Halo Combat Evolved
Oh
Anniversary.
yeah, so today there's a trailer at the time of, obviously March 2nd that we saw. There's a trailer, a cinematic trailer for Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary. Now the last time this happened for Reach, the game came out about a week later.
I'm
So
excited,
by the
bro.
time that we make this episode, we might already have the date, or it might already be out next week. When
I'm
we're back
excited.
here next Monday, it might already be out. Straight up.
Yeah, we have that footage too on our website. Make sure you
Yes.
check it out. That Combat Evolved, we got invited to the Insider Flight. So if you want to see what it's gonna be looking like on PC, go ahead and check it out. But me, I never got a chance to play the original Halo because I didn't have
I
an
think it's gonna be
Xbox at the
great.
time. So I'm excited to check it out. We gotta play the campaign, bro.
Yeah, we gotta play the campaign.
We gotta go ahead and do that.
It's one of those things. It's
And
gonna be great, especially to have the remastered game available. It's gonna be great to have more people online to play the game, because don't forget
yes,
the Master Chief Collection. You can matchmake through every single title. So now we're gonna be able to play Reach in one game and just seamlessly matchmake towards Halo Combat Evolved, right? So we'll
yes,
have so many options. I mean, Halo is $10 per game. Okay, there's no other value shooter out there. I don't care. I don't care what you say. All these other games that cost $60, they don't offer you the value that these games offer for
no, they don't.
$10. They at all. So
I
when
mean, just
Combat
look at the
Evolves,
longevity, man.
I'm
Look at
gonna
the
be there.
longevity. Look at the longevity. I mean, Halo came out what 2001, 2002, and everybody's excited to play it once again. I mean, come on, so I'm excited, and that just goes to show us, and it really means that Halo 2, it's coming out maybe within the next 2-3 months. If possible, they might even have the flights going on now, and we
Yeah,
just don't know about it, right? But believe me, if Combat Evolved Anniversary is coming out sometime this month, then you know for certain Halo 2 Anniversary, right? It's coming. It's gonna come probably within the next 2-3 months, and that's really the one everyone's waiting for.
yeah, for sure.
So get ready, guys. If you didn't get Master Chief Collection yet, I think now is a perfect time. You'll
You
have
should,
Reach
yeah.
available. You'll have Combat Evolved, and it'll be easier to get all these older games ported, right? Because the toughest one to really port was probably 4 and Infinite. I'm sorry, 4 and Reach. So I
Yeah.
mean, now they're going to the older one, so they're gonna get through that pretty quick.
There's a lot
So
of technical details to go into these games, but these games existed on PC before, so I expect that they'll be able to make us quick work of it, right? And especially that the Anniversary Edition isn't that old. It was released on Xbox 360, of course, but they were able to port it forward through Xbox One, and it's already on there. So Reach was not on the Master Chief Collection previously, right? So that would explain the continued development time of that
right,
title.
that's why it was ground up. Yeah,
Yeah.
but now that they got that one out of the way, these remaining ones, it's gonna be quick, man. So like I said, if you haven't gotten it yet, go ahead and check it out. Get it on Steam, get it on Xbox One, get it on the Microsoft Store, whatever, however you want to get it.
However you want to get it.
Get that game, and you're gonna have so much content available that it's not even gonna be funny. Like Shib said, once all of them come out, you're gonna be able to matchmake on every single one of them
Yeah, and
at the same time.
I'll tell you right now, there's always going to be people playing Halo. There's always going to be some people playing that. Game's timeless, so I mean,
Yeah. I mean, I saw a report that they invited 100,000 people to the Insider Flight, and then they added another 50,000. So we're talking about 150,000 people that were invited to the Insider Flight just last week. 150,000 for a game that came out almost 20 years ago. Are you kidding me?
it's great. It's great. It's amazing.
Come on.
I think I'm glad. As soon as Combat Evolves out, I'm going to be there playing the game. So look forward to that. And I
Definitely.
think we're just going to have to wait until see what happens next week. We're just going to have
Cross
to
your
be here
fingers.
next time. That's the
Yeah.
only thing we can say. So just as a matter of wrapping it up, we're going to be here every Monday, 9 o'clock Eastern, and we're going to be covering everything that happens during the week. If you're interested, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can follow, of course. You can go to gottabelegend.com, where it's going to be available every week. As soon as we stop streaming, I'm going to go ahead and cut this up, go have it over there. It's going to be on Spotify as well, so check us out. So gottabelegend.com, Spotify,
On YouTube also.
on YouTube, on Spotify, on Twitch, of course. Here we are on our website. So you have the links at the top of the page, or well, it'll be in the description below. So feel free to follow us over on Facebook, Patreon, Twitter, YouTube. We have Instagram, on our website directly. And this has been Shib, Aliens.
This has been Aliens. Make sure you follow all our social media platforms. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Check out the website. We'll have a Patreon going on soon. We won't go into the details yet, but it's coming soon, guys. So if you
we'll
want to get some behind the scenes looks, stay in touch with us. Join the Discord too, right?
Join the
If you ever
Discord.
want to know what's going on with Gotta Be Legend, definitely join the Discord. It's free. We do play with our members. If we go and do a live stream, we definitely invite them into the chat, and we do play with them as well. Make sure you go ahead and follow Shib here in his Twitter. In his Twitch. In his Twitch channel.
On Twitter as well. You got it there.
And Twitter. And you can also follow me, Aliens. I actually run through the Gotta Be Legend Twitch channel. Right, you can follow me there. It's all one piece. So definitely follow us on all platforms, and just be on the lookout, because we're gonna be coming with a lot of heat. And you better be ready, because if you're a gamer,
a lot of new stuff.
You want to be in touch, and you want to be aware of what's going on. So we'll have all that information for you. Recently, like I said, we just uploaded information and uploaded videos for Halo Reach. We uploaded videos for Combat Evolved. We also have the Final Fantasy VII Remake demo footage on our website from today. So it's brand spanking new, hot off the presser. So go ahead and check it out. And yeah, we'll have more. So definitely, stay in touch with us, and we'll have that content for you, man.
All right, so that's going to be the end of it from our end. If you guys enjoyed the show, feel free again to follow us, and we'll see you all next week, Monday, 9 o'clock sharp. All right, have a good one, everybody.
Good night, guys.